the millennial generation
Yeah.
in Korea will sooner or later take part in both governmental and private sector leadership. And do you see any changes that will come with this generational transition? And do you think this might somehow change the pattern of Indonesia-South Korea long ties of partnership?
Well, I think this whole the emergence of millennials in the major play, whether it's on the private sector or on the public sector, is already a kind of given thing. I think it is something that we should take into very serious account when we are charting out policies related to reaching out to the people in foreign countries, especially between Indonesia and Korea. The kind of very strong bond of friendship and very high level of mutual understanding of each other's culture and lifestyles are very important elements in further cementing, strengthening the ties of cooperation between the two peoples, especially through the SMS, social media, SMS and YouTube. I think there's Indonesian and Korean youngsters are just kind of living their lives in one kind of the hemisphere, one global village. So I think there's instantly when they are finding a good artist or the good products, then they could instantly share their comments or their preferences through social media now. I think that is affecting the also diplomatic arena as well. So conventionally, the diplomats have been focused upon meeting with government officials and business leaders, but nowadays the ambassador and the diplomats are now asked to meet with people on the street, at the campus, at the cafe, at the theaters, at the stadiums. Those are the kind of the new phenomenon that we are witnessing in our diplomacy. So what is important is to link heart to heart. It's kind of hati ke hati diplomacy, which is getting more importance in our diplomatic activities.
You were saying about SMS earlier.
Right.
What do you mean by SMS?
This the social media.
Oh, social media.
Yeah.
Couple of days earlier during the Asian Games, we witnessed the unified Korea team are working together hand by hand during the opening ceremony. And is that you was holding hand together with the North Korean official?
Well, actually, it was not me. It was the Prime Minister of South Korea waving hands together with the Deputy Prime Minister of North Korea. They were all invited by President Jokowi to attend the opening ceremony of Asian Games. So they were together right next to President Jokowi and Vice President Yusuf Kala in the royal box of the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium. And I was watching actually the whole joint march by South and North Korean athletes marching together into the stadium. There was a very touching and also moment of emotional kind of the joy, because it's symbolic kind of color. It is illustrating how this whole Asian Games can be portrayed as a festival for peace and harmony. And in Jakarta, this women's basketball games are now being participated by one united single team composed of both South and North Korean athletes together. So we hope to see them play in the final match of the women's basketball match. And there are two other sports events that are now being played by one single united Korea team, which is canoe dragon boat and rowing boat. Those two games are being held in Palembang. So So I will fly to Palembang to cheer them up.
So this might be a really exciting moment for both South Korea and
Yeah.
North Korea, isn't it?
Yes.
And basically, what do you think about Indonesia, and what are your favorite things about Indonesia or Indonesian?
Yeah. Well, there's as I said earlier, I decided to come back to my second home, Indonesia, because I and my wife fell in love with Indonesia while I was staying here in Jakarta in 2003 and 2005. So I still recall some of the good memories that we have visited Bali, Yogyakarta, but more important and also very inspirational memory that I have cherished throughout all my life is that I visited Banda Aceh when tsunami hit the place. I was here in Jakarta from in December 2004 when tsunami hit the northern part of Sumatra. So I was the kind of the coordinator to link early rescue and recovery team of Korea to be dispatched to Banda Aceh, and I just even flew up to Banda Aceh and stayed there for about several days to coordinate all the early recovery and rescue efforts on the site. So I still recall some of the very devastating scenes that I have witnessed in Banda Aceh. I heard that the whole area is now very neatly and fully rehabilitated. So I'm very glad to hear that, and I'm looking forward to visiting those areas in a very near future. So one thing that I really love from my experience in Indonesia, the sweet smiles of people of Indonesia. Whenever they are having difficulties, they still kind of keep smiles on their face, and also it's kind of the positive way of thinking, always kind of enduring kind of the difficulties and kind of challenges. I think that's through my service here in Indonesia this time, I will also find new discoveries, including more a variety of Indonesian culinary taste and new travel destinations, and also try to meet with many more friends. Yeah, mudah-mudahan.
Right, so what would be your favorite dish in Indonesia?
Well, there's I usually order some. There's udang sriwedari, which is another dish that I enjoy, and also a lot of very multi-flavored satay, and of course I eat nasi padang, and I eat this nasi lidik from Bali, and also I do love the semur and rendang and whatever dishes. Sometimes
almost everything.
Yeah. So I normally when I go out for lunch or dinner with my wife during the weekend, I usually look for the local Indonesian restaurants, try to find a new taste. Yeah.
Glad you like our food. Right, so what do you needs to be changed on Indonesia and or Indonesian?
Well, there's Indonesia is a country of huge potentials, and I think there's people are now witnessing their potentials, their power to be better, power to become greater. Then there's the leadership, especially under President Jokowi. I think that spirit has been rekindled, and now it's time for actions, more actions, and more kind of the joint action, joint endeavors from every sector of the country, not only from the government but also from private sectors and from academia, from civic communities. I think Indonesia has a very good tradition of gotong royong. I think there's one thing that I may have to suggest is that maybe it could reactivate the spirit of gotong royong at the local level, because now it's a very rapid pace of urbanization is underway in every big cities. So I think that in order to address social inequalities, the disparity between the well-developed areas and the underdeveloped areas, I think you need to have a kind of the sense of collaboration, sense of more collective actions to be taken at the local level.
So gotong royong has been a part of our tradition for,
Right.
For long, I guess. But according to your opinion, do you think it's starting to deteriorate at some point?
No, I think it should be more promoted.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a spirit that has been kept in the genes of Indonesian people, but I think that it should pulled out and then rekindled and reactivate and rejuvenated. Yeah.
Right. I think